Hey guys, Roman Reaper here. So last night I watched the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. This is of course the newest film from Guy Ritchie. The man does not sleep, he is booked and busy. This is of course the fourth straight film of his to go straight to Prime Video here in the UK. Like seriously, how bad are things in the industry right now? Like Guy Ritchie can't even get a cinema release in his home territory. And what's even weirder about it is that this apparently plays really well with an audience, but it is what it is, I guess. The trailer for this looked a ton of fun, and even just the general idea of Guy Ritchie making a Second World War film, you know, it just instantly sold me. But does the film deliver on that promise? Let's find out. So in the film, Britain's efforts to stall the Nazi conquest of Europe are being regularly thwarted, until one day British intelligence learns of a Nazi resupply effort in Fernando Po. However, a British attack on Fernando Po would potentially risk the rest of unoccupied Europe siding with Germany, and so Brigadier Colin Gubbins, with the backing of Winston Churchill, decides to initiate Operation Postmaster, an unsanctioned, off-the-books mission to sink the Duchessa, an Italian ship sending supplies to Nazi U-boats in the North Atlantic. Loose cannon Gus March Phillips is appointed to lead the mission, and joining him is an even more unpredictable band of misfits. And they soon set sail for Fernando Po. However, if they're caught by Britain, it means imprisonment. If they're caught by Germany, potentially certain death. So, yeah, look, it's interesting to note that one of the producers on this film is Jerry Bruckheimer. And obviously, you know exactly what you're getting when you watch a Jerry Bruckheimer movie and you see the Jerry Bruckheimer Films logo at the start. You know, you're sort of expecting, big, crowd pleasing spectacle, does not skimp on blockbuster action at all. So combine that with the sensibilities of Guy Ritchie, and yeah, you've got a pretty good idea of what you're in for. And to be honest, the film does pretty much exactly that. Like, it's the sort of deal, it does what it says on the tin, no more, no less, and it is, a pretty good time. I mean, for one, you can definitely see the sort of, cinematic sensibilities of these two creatives fuse in the action scenes. Like, my God, there are a lot of really entertaining action set pieces here, whether it be like Henry Cavill laughing hysterically as he guns down a room full of Nazis, or even Alan Ritchson using a bow and arrow to take out Nazis with precision accuracy. It does not skimp on the action, and it's every bit as violent and entertaining as you'd expect, just hugely satisfying. I mean, sure, there's not a whole lot of suspense, like anytime there's an encounter with with armies of Nazis, you can expect every engagement to be won with relative ease. But it doesn't take away from just how much damn fun Guy Ritchie is having bringing all of this stuff to life. And of course, it's got a sort of very ironic, quippy sense of humor, which, is very much in fitting with the sort of banter in Guy Ritchie's other films. This is very much a guns and geezers flick, but World War II style. There's some really great banter between Gus and the crew, especially one hilarious standout moment towards the end in which he pretends that the British signal on the other side communicating is breaking up and eventually tells him to fuck off. Really, really funny stuff all around it. But even just like the little jibes between the crew really do sort of sell their little dysfunctional dynamic. And of course, all of this is in service of a sort of very interesting, stranger than fiction, true story that is, consistently very compelling and does have a certain level of stakes behind it. And, it does consistently keep up a fairly good pace overall, although I will say there are kind of stretches here. There's a whole subplot involving Aisha Gonzalez as another agent, needing a sort of separate but connected effort in Fernando Poe. And despite this being, connected to the main story right from the beginning, it feels also weirdly disconnected. If that makes sense. Like, not until a bit into the film, the sort of, the two overarching narratives actually begin to connect. And sort of, and when it just takes screen time away that I wanted to see with Cavill and the crew. But overall, the characters here are very likable, and there are good performances here. Cavill is great as Gus March Phillips. He's a figure of organized chaos, shall we say. He simultaneously goes from being like a straight man to the guys to just having the time of his life ripping bullets through Nazis. He's really fun, and he has a suitably magnificent beard. God, imagine Warner Bros. Had to CGI that out. You also got like Alan Richardson, yep, Jack Reacher as Anders Lassen, who's this sort of out of control, unpredictable Danish muscle. Particularly adept with a bow and arrow. He is a hugely fun screen presence, and I really enjoyed every time he was on screen. You've also got Henry Golding in here as Freddy, a convicted arsonist who is rarely happier than when he's rigging stuff to explosives. Just, you've also got the likes of like Hero Finds Tiffin, Alex Pettifer, Carrie Elwes, a fun ensemble, Everyone clearly knowing the assignment and having a lot of fun, but also, with a certain, certain amount of playing it straight as well to sort of balance out the sort of wackiness of its central characters. Just a hugely fun time all around. Although I will say, Rory Kinnear is in this playing Winston Churchill, and honestly, this is just the latest in a long line of crap Churchill impersonations on screen. Yeah. And, builds to, a very satisfying finale in which, we get all the spectacle that you'd expect, all the fun action, all the humor, just all the great character stuff that is very satisfying to watch. This may not rank among Guy Ritchie's finest efforts or anything like that, but it's shot and directed very well, and I quite enjoyed Chris Benstead's little jaunty score. It is just a good time that does exactly what you'd expect it to, no more, no less, and yeah, I would definitely recommend a watch for that reason. Overall, the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10. So you let me know down in the comments, have you seen the film? What did you think of it? Did you get to see this on its American release in the cinema? And if you're in the UK, do you hope that one day we will eventually get to see a Guy Ritchie film grace cinema screens again? Let me know all that down in the comments. Don't forget the thumbs up button if you enjoyed. Don't forget the subscribe button if you're new. And don't forget to turn on post notifications so you don't miss an upload.